Welcome to the Madison Miller Podcast. Today is Thursday, July 8th, 2021. Today I'm going to recap Game 5 of the Stanley Cup Final, preview tonight's Game 2 of the NBA Finals, Major League Baseball, the WNBA, UEFA, semifinal. Now we have our championship set up for Sunday, tennis, golf, MLB mock draft, news and notes, and my best bet of the day. Now we will get going. We'll start with the Stanley Cup Final. Game number 5, Lightning came out on top, 1-0 as they repeat as Stanley Cup champions. So congratulations to the Tampa Bay Lightning. The goal in this game was scored by Ross Colton, assisted by David Savard and Ryan McDonough. 13:27 into the second period to give Tampa the 1-0 lead, and they just held on for the rest of the game. And Colton was number 2 star, number 3 star with no points, but played well. Barclay Goodrow, and the number 1 star of the game with 22 saves on 22 shots. Your Conn Smythe winner, and deservedly so, Andrei Vasilevskiy. There's no other way around it. He had to be it. Shutout after shutout in big games. He's just been money these last 2 postseasons, especially this postseason. He's been even better. It was nice to see a packed arena with fans and Gary Bettman talking to the crowd like it was the pre-COVID days, and it was just a sense of normalcy. So again, congratulations to the Lightning. Montreal, great run. It's just that they ran out of gas when it was all said and done. This was probably the worst team to make the final, probably since the 2013-14 Rangers. Not suggesting that Montreal's a bad team, neither was that Rangers team. But Montreal was the 8th seed, or technically the 8th seed in the on the other side of Tampa's side of the bracket. And they made it all the way to the Stanley Cup Final. They had the least amount of points in the league. That's a great accomplishment. And Descharnay just did a great job. And then Luke Richardson, obviously, in those couple games that Descharnay missed because of COVID. And Montreal, they just have to make some additions offensively for me to put themselves back in the conversation as a contender. Because their offense failed them when they needed it the most in these finals. So we'll see what kind of moves they make. Tampa's going to be back. You know that they've been a perennial contender for almost a decade now, probably like 6 or 7 years. So I'm sure they'll be back. We're back to East and West next year, which is a good thing. Normal divisions next year. Obviously, an interesting offseason awaits. A lot of big names, I think, are going to be traded. A lot of other subplots like the expansion draft, which is, I believe, July 21st. So, we're going to keep an eye on the sport. And then, obviously, we have the draft coming up. I believe the 30th of July. It might be the 23rd. It's one of those 2 days, the draft. It's the day after the NBA draft. It always is. So, fun hockey season. I think it's right that Tampa repeats. No fluke champion, so that's good. Not trying to take a shot here at Montreal or anything. But like I said, just has a sense of normalcy. So, back-to-back cups for the Lightning. First team to repeat since the 16-17 Penguins, as in the sense of the 15-16 and 16-17 Pittsburgh Penguins. So, the second time in like a 4 or 5 year span where we have a repeat champ. So that is another subplot of the finals as well. All right, now we'll go to the NBA Finals. Game 2 is tonight between the Bucks and the Suns. Big game. My projections are Phoenix 7 in total, 226.5. Meanwhile, FanDuel has this at Suns by 5.5 total to 20. Going over again. I'm not suggesting that either of these teams, that neither of these teams play defense. But I think that both teams' offenses have been good in the series. I think I'm close to the number here. I can't pull the trigger on 5.5 because it's less than 2. So I'm going to go over 210 for the pick. In terms of a straight up, I'm going to say that the Bucks might win this one, actually. So give me over 220 for the official Madison Miller podcast play for game number 2. All right, now we'll move on to Major League Baseball. We will go over the results from yesterday and look ahead to today's games. Rays over the Indians 8-1 in 7. Game 1 doubleheader. Rays 50-36, Indians 42-41. Michael Walker the win, JC Mejia the loss. Braves over the Pirates 14-3, so the Braves go over by themselves. Atlanta 42-44, Pittsburgh 32-54. Drew Smiley to win, and getting dinged with the loss here was Kyle Crick. White Sox over the Twins 6-1, Chicago 51-35, Minnesota 35-50. Lance Lynn to win, Michael Pineda the loss. Tigers over the Rangers 5-3, Detroit 40-47, Texas 34-53. Kyle Funkowers to the win, Kyle Gibson the loss, and Greg Soto the save. Reds over the Royals 5-2, Cincinnati 45-41, KC 36-50, Sonny Gray to win. Getting dinged with the loss, Scott Barlow, and getting the save was Heath Hembry for the Reds. Mets over the Brewers 4-3-8 on a walk-off single by Jeff McNeil. Mets 45-37, Milwaukee 51-36, Edwin Diaz to win, Brent Sutter the loss. And Jacob deGrom's ERA is over 1 for the first time this season, which is just incredible. Rays over the Indians 4-0. Game 2 doubleheader. Rays 51-36, Cleveland 42-42. Josh Fleming the win, Sam Hentges the loss. Angels over the Red Sox 5-4. Angels 44-42, Boston 54-34. Andrew Heaney the win, Eduardo Rodriguez the loss, and Rafael Iglesias the save. Marlins over the Dodgers 9-6 on a walk-off 3-run shot by Jesus Aguilar. Miami 38-47. Dodgers 53-34. Anthony Bender to win, and Edwin Ucado the loss. This game was on ESPN, so good job for the Marlins coming through like that in a nationally televised game. That's what you love to see. The Blue Jays over the Orioles 10-2. Toronto 44-40. Baltimore 28-58. Hyunjin Ryu to win. Matt Harvey to loss. Brewers over the Mets 5-0 in Game 2. Milwaukee 52-36. Mets 45-38. Getting the win for Milwaukee was Jake Cousins, and Robert Stock gets charged the loss for the Mets. Cubs over the Phillies 8-3, so the losing streak is finally over. The Cubs are 43-44, Phillies 41-43. Alec Mills the win, Zach Wheeler the loss. Astros over the Athletics 4-3, Houston 54-33, Oakland 49-39. Blake Taylor the win, Sean Manaea the loss, Ryan Presley the save. Diamondbacks over the Rockies 6-4, Arizona 25-63. Colorado 37-50. Matt Peacock the win, Antonio Sensatella the loss, and Joaquin Soria the save. Giants over the Cardinals 5-2. The Giants are 54-32. St. Louis 43-45. Alex Wood the win, Johan Oviedo the loss, Jake McGee the save. Yankees over the Mariners 5-4. Yankees 44-41. Seattle 45-42. Luis Sessa the win, Yusei Kikuchi the loss, and Chad Green with the save. So no Chapman in the closer's role now. And deservedly so. Nats over the Padres 15-5. The Nats are 42-43. Padres 51-38. Patrick Corbin the win, Chris Paddock the loss. Now look ahead to today. At 12 o'clock, you got the Dodgers and the Marlins. Julio Urias and Stanley Alcantara. Dodgers are minus 158. Marlins are plus 134. Over under 7.5. Overs plus 102. Unders minus 104. Dodgers minus 1.5 is plus 116. Marlins plus 1.5 is minus 140. Alcantara's been really good this year. So is Urias. But I think one of these bullpens can blow up. So I'm going to go over 7.5 plus 102. Can't pull the trigger at Miami. Just don't think the Dodgers are going to get swept. A's Astros at 2. Frankie Montas and Lance McCullers Jr. Astros minus 178. Oakland plus 150. Over under 8.5. Overs minus 118. Unders minus 104. Oakland plus 1.5 is minus 140. Astros minus 1.5 is plus 116. I am going to go under 8.5 at minus 102. I think that's a low number. I think that this could be a 5-3 game. 3:30 Rockies Diamondbacks. Chichi Gonzalez and Jake Faria. Diamondbacks minus 144. Rockies plus 122. Over under 9.5. Overs minus 114. Unders minus 106. Rockies plus 1.5 is minus 162. D-backs minus 1.5 is plus 134. I'm going to go over 9.5 minus 114. 4 o'clock Yankees Mariners. Jordan Montgomery and Logan Gilbert. Yankees minus 142. Mariners plus 120. Over under 8.5. Overs minus 112. Unders minus 108. Yankees minus 1.5 is plus 122. Mariners plus 1.5 is minus 146. I'm going to go over 8.5 minus 112. I don't know if the Yankees will pull off the sweep, but I think it's going to be a high-scoring game like these other games in the series have been. 7 o'clock, you have the Blue Jays and the Orioles. Alek Manoah and Keegan Aiken. Toronto's minus 210. Baltimore plus 176. Over under 11. Overs minus 105. Unders minus 114. Blue Jays minus 1.5 is minus 132. Baltimore plus 1.5 is plus 110. I'm going to go over 11 minus 105, but I don't feel good about it. Royals Indians. Danny Duffy and Zach Plesac. Indians minus 136. Royals plus 116. Over under 9. Overs minus 104. Unders minus 118. Royals plus 1.5 is minus 170. Indians minus 1.5 is plus 140. I'm going to go with the Royals as the dog. Plus 123. Danny Duffy hasn't been bad this year. Pirates Mets. JT Brubaker and Taijuan Walker. This game weirdly isn't on here. But if the total is anything less than 8, the over's the pick. 8 o'clock on ESPN, the Phillies and the Cubs. So rare Thursday night game on ESPN. Zach Eflin and Adbert Alzolay. Cubs minus 118, Phillies are plus 100. We don't have a total or run line numbers yet. But if this total is anything less than 10, I'm taking the over. Reds Brewers. Tyler Mahle and Adrian Hauser. Brewers are minus 118. Reds even money. Over under 8. Overs minus 114. Unders minus 106. Reds plus 1.5 is minus 200. Brewers minus 1.5 is plus 164. I'm taking the Reds as the dog. Even money. Tyler Mahle, not bad this year. Tigers Twins. Tariq Skubal and Jay Happ. Twins minus 138. Tigers plus 118. Over under 10. Overs minus 105. Others minus 115. Tigers plus 1.5 is minus 162. Twins plus 1.5 is minus... Tigers plus 1.5 is minus 162. Twins minus 1.5 is plus 134. I'm going over 10 minus 105. And last but not least, the Nationals and the Padres. Max Scherzer and Yu Darvish. Padres minus 142. Nats plus 120. Over under 7. Minus 110 each way. Nats plus 1.5 is minus 196. Pirates minus 1.5. Or Padres minus 1.5 is plus 162. Both these guys have been marvelous this season. But I think it's just Scherzer's just been a little bit better. So I'm going with the Nationals plus 120 against the Padres. All right, now I'm going to do WNBA. We will go over the games from yesterday, and we will look ahead to the slate for tonight. Here we go. Sorry about the delay. All 3 games are Commissioner's Cup. Lynx over the Wings, 85-79. The Lynx, 10-7. Dallas 9-11. Kayla McBride, 25 for Minnesota. And Alicia Gray, 13 for Dallas. Mercury over the Aces, 99-90 in overtime. Mercury, 8-9. Las Vegas, 14-5. Brittany Griner, 33 points. A little bit of a throwback performance for her. Najla Wilson at 25 and 12 boards and 6 assists. Storm over the Sparks, 71-62. Seattle 15-4. LA 6-12. Brianna Stewart, 27 points, 11 boards. Erica Wheeler had 22 and 3 assists. I made a mistake, guys. There's no WNBA games on tonight. There'll be games on Friday night, though. All right, now we will recap the semifinal game for UEFA from yesterday. England over Denmark 2-1 in extra time. Denmark actually got on the board first on a goal by Mikkel Damsgaard in the 30th minute to put him up 1-0. Then Simone Kjær with an own goal in the 39th minute to tie it at 1 apiece. And in extra time, Harry Kane, the 104th minute of the game, gives England the 2-1 lead, and they hang on for the victory. So congratulations to England. It'll be them against Italy in the final on Sunday, and we will preview and predict that game on the podcast tomorrow. Alrighty, now we will move on to the Wimbledon as the men's quarterfinals were played yesterday. Seventeen-seeded Matteo Berrettini over 16-seeded Felix Auger-Aliassime in 4 sets. The big upset, 14-seeded Hubert Hurkacz over 6-seeded Roger Federer in 3 sets. 1-seeded Novak Djokovic over Marton Fucsovics in 3 sets. And 10-seeded Denis Shapovalov over 25-seeded Karen Khachanov in 5 sets. The men's semifinals will be Friday. Women's semifinals are today. At 8:30, I have 1-seeded Ashley Barty and 25-seeded Angelique Kerber, which should be a great match. I'm trying to find here. Here we are. Barty's minus 225. Kerber's plus 186. And in set betting, we go Barty 2-0 plus 115. And then the second of 2, you got 2-seeded Aryna Sabalenka and 8-seeded Karolina Pliskova. Should be a good match. Sabalenka's minus 220, Pliskova's plus 190. But for set betting, I'm going to go with, we're going to go with the upset here, plus 190 for Pliskova to upset Sabalenka. I think there's going to be an upset somewhere, so I'm going to go with the upset here with Pliskova over Sabalenka. And for whatever reason, they took the FanDuel took down the the odds and stuff. So let's just go with the straight plus 188 or whatever it was for Pliskova in that match. All right, now we will go over the early leaderboard for the John Deere Classic. This is a good opportunity for like the lesser of the golfers to break through because there's not many names in this tournament. The irony is that there's no early leaderboard, so that's my bad again. I'm just going to go through notable tee times. Coming up very shortly, I'm just going to go through notables. Luke List, Alex the Red, Kevin Streelman. That's a 7:45. 7:56. DJ Trans in that one. 8:07, Danny Lee. Harry Higgs. 8:18, Dylan Fratelli, Tyler Duncan. Seb Stricker. Or Steve Stricker. I'm thinking Seb Straka in that one. Oops. In Bohog, the 8:18 window, Pat Perez, Tyler Duncan, Dylan Fratelli, and Stricker. 8:29, Bryce Garnett, Sanjayim, Cam Davis. 8:40, Jim Herman. Cam Champ, Aaron Weiss. The 8:51 window, Chester V, Adam Landry, J.B. Holmes, Mike Thompson, Adam Putnam. 9:02, Rafa Cabrera Bello, Lucas Glover. 9:13, Doc Redman, Harold Varner III, Seamus Power. Robbie Shelton. 9:24, Will Gordon, Scott Stallings. 9:35, Eric Cole. 9:57 or 9:46, nobody of note. And in the afternoon session, 1:10, you have Mark Herbert, Bo Van Pelt, Brock Stewart. 1:21, Adam Schenk, J.J. Spawn. 1:32, Henrik Norlander, Jonathan Vegas, Tom Lewis, Kyle Stanley. 1:43, Daniel Berger, Kevin Na, Zach Johnson, J.T. Potson. 1:54, C.T. Pond, Sebastian Munoz, Saiwoo Kim. 2:05, nobody of note other than Richie Wierenski. Charlie Howell III in the 2:16 window. 2:27, Maverick McNeely, Chase Hadley, Seb Straka. No one of note in the 2:39 or 2:38 window. 2:49, Patrick Rogers, Dylan McCarthy. And in the 3 o'clock window, Vince Whaley. 3:11, Rob Oppenheim. And then in the 3:22 window, you have Michael Giglick in there. So we'll have a leaderboard on tomorrow's show instead, guys. All right, now I'm going to do my latest MLB mock draft. I'm only going to do a couple left of these. Obviously, we'll do one tomorrow, and then we'll do one on a special show Sunday morning or Saturday night or maybe Sunday evening before the draft. We'll see. But I got to get one in with the final mock. Maybe Saturday morning would be like the last resort time for it. All right, so my 5th mock draft. Number 1, Pittsburgh Pirates. Marcelo Mayer, shortstop, East Lake High School, California. Yet again, we have the talented Meyer going first overall. Meyer's not per se the perfect player, but he does everything right and has tremendous upside. 2, Texas Rangers. Jack Leiter, righty, Vanderbilt. Due to a strong showing in the College World Series, Leiter's stock rose even more. He's the best pitcher in this draft class and could have been a first-round pick several years ago, but opted to go to school, which was the right call. 3, Detroit Tigers. Jackson Jobe, righty, Heritage Hall High School in Oklahoma. The Tigers have some options here, and in this mock I have them adding to their young collection of pitching with Jobe. His stock is rising even after he went from a guy that occasionally showed flashes to perhaps the best prep arm in the draft. 4, the Boston Red Sox. Henry Davis, catcher, Louisville. Davis is somebody else whose stock is soaring as we get closer to the draft. He's somebody who broke out onto the scene this college season and would instantly become the Red Sox catcher of the future. 5, the Baltimore Orioles. Jordan Lawler, shortstop, Jesus Prep High School, Texas. A lot of people seem to think that the Orioles are going to go with the bat here. Lawler is a two-way player, but is most likely to be drafted as a shortstop due to his tremendous upside. That would be too tempting to pass up. 6, the Arizona Diamondbacks. Brady House, shortstop, Winder Barrow High School in Georgia. The D-backs are a team that is under some pressure to get it right with this pick. House has a fabulous arm, as folks have compared him to the likes of Nolan Arenado and Josh Donaldson, and some feel is a star in the making. 7, the Kansas City Royals. Kumar Rocker, righty, Vanderbilt. The second of 2 Vandy pitchers lands here at the Royals. Despite a rocky game in the College World Series, Rocker showed that he has proven to be a high pick throughout the season and would just be another asset to go with the Royals' young pitching collection. 8, the Colorado Rockies. Khalil Watson, shortstop, Wake Forest High School, North Carolina. The Rockies go with the possible need pick here with the possibility of Trevor Story getting traded or leaving as a free agent. Watson is somebody that is a great hitter with a ton of power and has a chance to go higher than this. 9, the Los Angeles Angels. Ty Madden, righty, Texas. This would be a great pick for the Angels, who could use some more pitching in their system. Madden helped the Longhorns in their run to the College World Series and has potential to be a top-end starter and could buzz through the minors. 10, the New York Mets. Sal Frelick, outfield, Boston College. This would be a solid pick by the Mets, who could use some college bats in their system. Some people are concerned about his height, but does have the pop in his bat. 11, the Washington Nationals. Gunnar Hoglund, righty, Ole Miss. This would be an interesting pick for the Nationals here, as some may consider a reach. Hoglund is recovering from Tommy John surgery, and if it weren't for that, he would have had a quicker path to the show. 12, the Seattle Mariners. Matt McLean, shortstop, UCLA. McLean and the Mariners have been a popular match among recent mocks. McLean is somebody that has a solid bat and speed, but does not hit for power. 13, the Philadelphia Phillies. Colton Cowser, outfield, Sam Houston State. The Phillies to be are a bit of a wild card here as the draft gets closer. Cowser has a sweet lefty swing, but it's unknown what outfield spot he'll be at. 14, the San Francisco Giants. Benny Montgomery, outfield, Redland High School, Pennsylvania. The Giants may land themselves a possible steal here at Montgomery, which would only add to a suddenly great farm system. His athleticism is outstanding and has great power with his bat. 15, the Milwaukee Brewers. Sam Bachman, righty, Miami of Ohio. The Brewers are a team that seems set on college arms. Bachman is somebody else that I can see breezing through the minors and end up at the show, whether it's as a starter or a reliever. 16, the Miami Marlins. Harry Ford, catcher, North Cobb, Georgia. This would be an interesting selection for the Marlins, and it would tell you about how they really feel about Jorge Alfaro. Ford has tremendous offensive upside and is a good athlete. 17, the Cincinnati Reds. Anthony Solometo, lefty, Bishop Eutis High School, New Jersey. Solometo is a super fast riser as we are less than a few days away. He's somebody that makes hitters uncomfortable and fills the strike zone. 18, the St. Louis Cardinals. Andrew Painter, righty, Calvary Christina High School in Florida. Painter is one of the wildcard entries in the draft because of the unknown, that is, where exactly he will be picked. He's one of the better athletes in terms of pitchers in the draft, but has boomer bust potential. 19, the Toronto Blue Jays. Jordan Wicks, lefty, Kansas State. This would be a good pick and a potential steal for the Jays, who could use some college arms in their system. Wicks has a solid pitch selection, throws for quality speeds, and is an innings eater. 20, the New York Yankees. Will Bednar, righty, Mississippi State. Bednar is flying up draft boards due to the fact that he helped lead the Bulldogs to their first ever College World Series championship. The Yankees lean heavily on pitch data when it comes to their selections, and while this feels like Bednar's ceiling, it also feels like a distinct possibility. 21, the Chicago Cubs. Joe Mack, catcher, Williamsville East High School, New York. The Cubs are a wild card as the draft approaches because mocks have them all over the place. Mack is a great two-way catcher, but he may not sign if he isn't chosen in the first round. 22, Chicago White Sox. Colson Montgomery, third base, Southridge High School, Indiana. A popular match of late in mock drafts are the White Sox and Montgomery. He has that bat-the-ball skill that some teams die for in the strikeout era. 23, the Cleveland Indians. Bubba Chandler, righty shortstop, North Oceany High School, Georgia. The Indians are a team that could conceivably go in any direction. There is some uncertainty whether Chandler is better off as a shortstop or a pitcher, but Shohei Ohtani is proving it's possible. 24, the Atlanta Braves. Michael McGreevy, righty, UC Santa Barbara. The Braves and McGreevy have been another popular mock draft match of late. McGreevy came into his own this past season with his stuff and pitch ability. 25, Oakland Athletics. Josh Baez, outfield, Dexter Southfield High School in Massachusetts. The A's are a team that usually does not take prep bats here, and here I have them going with one in Baez. High risk, high reward picks don't always play out, but his tools and makeup is what can make it work. 26, the Minnesota Twins. Adrian Del Castillo, catcher, Miami. Del Castillo is somebody that was considered a top 10 pick not long ago, but his stock fell due to being inconsistent. When he is on his game, he has some big power and a good approach. 27, the San Diego Padres. Frank Mazzucato, righty, East Catholic High School, Connecticut. The Padres are pretty much stacked in their farm system, sans graduating some big names recently and being a contender now. Mazzucato is somebody with an interesting arsenal and has different speeds for his pitches. 28, the Tampa Bay Rays. Ryan Cusick, righty, Wake Forest. The Rays can go in any direction with this pick, and here I have them going with the college pitcher in Cusick. This is a high-risk pick due to some inconsistencies, but can occasionally hit triple digits when he pitches. And 29, the Los Angeles Dodgers. Max Muncy, shortstop, Thousand Oaks High School in California. This match would be funny by far among those picked, and for obvious reasons. Muncy is a twitchy player that is a super solid prospect that checks a lot of boxes that teams would like. All right, that's it for my fifth mock draft, and now I'm going to go over the news and notes for the day. So Stanley Cup fallouts. The Canadiens played through some injuries. Shea Weber hurt his thumb. Jeff Petrie finger, Tyler Toffoli groin, and Gallagher groin and more. So it's more than 3. That's 4. Big time Canadian players played through injuries. Guys play through injuries every year in the Stanley Cup playoffs. So with those injuries, it's kind of amazing that they've made it this far. Alex Killorn almost played with the broken fibula, as Killorn had surgery to insert a rod in his leg last week. And then yesterday night, he raised the Stanley Cup. Yesterday we saw some of the worst hockey jerseys you'll see as two fans, you put that in quotes, decide to make jerseys that are half Habs and half Lightning. And that was just ridiculous. That was really ugly. Nikita Kucherov was shirtless at his presser, chugging a beer, effing back-to-back, he says. And Kucherov also takes a shot at the Canadiens. The fans in Montreal acted like they won the Stanley Cup last game. Are you kidding me? Their final was last round. Yikes, man. That's probably because Tampa is expecting to play Vegas, and Vegas was probably looking ahead to the final, looking past the Canadiens. That's what Kucherov is trying to tell you, and he's probably right. And Patrick Maroon cracked a Zoom beer, as he's won the last 3 cups. So that was pretty cool that he cracked the beer at the press conference. Blues winger St. Louis's own Vladimir Tarasenko requests a trade, as the team is currently attempting to facilitate the deal. That's major that he is considering a trade. I think a ton of teams would want his services. I think the Capitals and the Penguins stand out to me as possible destinations. So does the Islanders. Three teams that were good this past season. I think Boston, if they fail to re-sign Taylor Hall. So that's another one. Will they trade with Chicago in their division? Nashville, who just traded with Vriedson. They're also in division. I don't think he'll be on the Lightning. That would surprise me. He'd fit on Montreal very well with that young team, or young position player core of that team. I like that fit a lot. I don't think the Rangers are going to be in play for Tarasenko. I think they're more likely an Eichel destination because they have a need at the center position rather than the wing position. They're set on the wings. I just think they need help at center. I think that the most likely bad teams to trade for him are Buffalo, New Jersey, and Detroit of the bad teams. And I wouldn't rule out the Kings, but they're really not that bad. I don't think they're going to be that bad next year. So I wouldn't rule out the Kings as a possible trade destination because they had a goal in mind of acquiring 2 top 6 forwards. And they got one already with the Vriedson. Can they pull off Tarasenko too is the question. And he's going to cost a lot. And the Blues, I believe, will get a first in the deal, maybe a couple prospects, and another pick, which is a later round pick. So I don't think Tarasenko would come cheap, but I don't think that the Blues will get a lot of value for him because trades are really hard to manage in the NHL, and it's always of late the team acquiring the talent rather than acquiring the picks that have won trades, with the exception of Ottawa with Erik Karlsson. And probably it's the only one that you could argue that they traded a great player and got a lot of value back. That's because the Sharks thought they were a contender, but they just fell on their face and had to give away a high lottery pick to Ottawa. The home run derby bracket was revealed. This is going to be a lot of fun. And you have Shohei Ohtani against Juan Soto. Salvador Perez against Peter Alonso. So Alonso's going for his repeat. Joey Gallo against Trevor Story. And Matt Olson against Trey Mancini. It's going to be a fun home run derby. Obviously, this will be on Monday, so we'll make a pick for this on the podcast on Monday. Jacob deGrom won't pitch in the All-Star game. That's because he's pitching over to, he just pitched the other day. So now the question is who replaces him. Dodgers canceled Trevor Bauer's bobblehead night amid felony sexual assault investigations. That's the right call by the Dodgers. I think the league probably forced them to do it. Johnny Juzang announced his return to UCLA on Instagram as he will withdraw from the draft and return for his junior season. So that is a big return for the UCLA Bruins, who made the Final Four a year ago. Max Abnus withdraws from the draft of Oral Roberts as he will return for his junior season. So he'll probably be the front runner for their conference player of the year because he's back. The Golden State Warriors are hiring Kenny Atkinson as a lead assistant on Steve Kerr's staff. So it's good to see Kenny Atkinson back in the NBA after not landing a coaching job a year ago. Ty Young retires from the WNBA. as she announces on Instagram that she's officially retiring. Edwards has a sprained ankle as he'll be held out of the USA Select Team training camp after suffering an ankle sprain at practice. Clayton Kershaw to the injured list with the left forearm arm inflammation. We'll see how long he's gone for here. A big loss for the Athletics. Trevor Rosenthal out for the season with the torn labrum. White Sox expect Yasmani Grandal to return as he had knee surgery yesterday, and the team expects him to play again in 2021. The NBA came out with its 75th anniversary logo, as it's a diamond with a 75 on it with the body on the logo. So that is really a really neat logo. Giannis notices free throw chanting as the Bucks learn to live with fans counting down his free throws. He goes, there are 20,000 people yelling 1, 2, 3, 4. That was very noticeable during the game. And the only time I noticed it was when Giannis was at the free throw line. The Suns fans were chanting numbers at him. The 49ers tried for a Matt Stafford trade, as Kyle Shanahan was watching Stafford's film in Cabo before the Rams traded for him. As Shanahan said that was frustrating. The XFL and the CFL partnership talks are off as the leagues decide not to pursue a formal partnership, but are open to working together in the future. And the last one, Tom Brady trolls himself as he brought back the Bryson Brooks meme to make fun of himself after he and Phil lost the Capital One's the match. Alrighty, last but not least, my best bet of the day, brought to you by FanDuel. Not really much of them stand out to me. Major League Baseball has been the hot spot of late. Over 7 in the Phillies-Cubs game was the last best bet. The Cubs did it by themselves. I'm going to stick to Major League Baseball again. And I like this is hard. Rocky Seabacks have been going on there a lot lately, so I'm not going to go there. I'm going to go over 7 in Nats Padres. I'm going to lay a unit on it. Don't feel super about it because I don't like anything much, but like I said earlier, let's bank on a bullpen blowing up. So I'm going laying a unit minus 102 over 7 between the Nationals and the Padres for my best bet of the day. All right, so there you have it for the show. I'll be back tomorrow with the Friday show with NBA Finals, Major League Baseball, WNBA, UEFA Championship, tennis, golf, NASCAR, MLB mock draft, news and notes, and best bet. Hope you guys have a great day, everybody.